Hey folks, welcome back to the Trade 5 Customs YouTube channel. This is the first episode of April, for those of you keeping track. And we are working on finishing up a few vehicles here. So first and foremost, we'll go through Manise. This is Manise 67, and it is a real 67, and there's a lot of things that tell us that, but we won't bore you with those details until we get to the wrap-up video. But we've got GSI chassis together, airbag chassis, an LS7 backed with a 6L80 transmission. So this is just a crate setup that he brought us, but then we called up Mr. Don Hardy and we got a Whipple supercharger for it. So as you can see, nice big huge wheel on there because we don't want to make a ton of boost because LS7s are higher compression. You make a bunch of boost and you go bang. So it's up in the air because Pio is running battery lines from the batteries to inside the cab. I spent most of the day yesterday wiring inside and it's almost done. We gotta get the column in, and then Frank next door is painting core support. So as soon as we get that, we can do all of our wiring up front. All the wiring in the back is mostly done. So this thing maybe by next week will be running and can go back over to Frank's, get the doors, all the front end on, all that stuff, and finish up the paint work. Color matched as much as we could for the powder coat. The shade's off a little bit, but this color flops super hard, so sometimes it looks like it matches and sometimes it doesn't. There's a good amount of metallic in the powder coat, so like if you get in here and you zoom in really good, you can see there's a good amount of metallic in there. Look, polished stainless exhaust. So the exhaust on this one is all 3-inch, 304 stainless. It's Borla tubing that we cut, bent, or we didn't bend, but we got the pre-bent pieces, cut it, welded it together, Borla mufflers. We have resonators under there too, so hopefully it's not too atrociously loud. Just got back from the chrome guy with a bunch of interior parts, sun visors, sun visor arms, seal plates, glove box. We needed some extra fuse holders, so we ran over to Fodrils and got some of those. Yeah, like I said, hopefully we'll be done soon. Marlin's truck, another GSI airbag chassis. This one was actually put together by Arizona High Test, and we were able to keep most of it, but this chassis was built so long ago that it still had a Acura CVT. And for those that know, the CVT is no longer, so we had to dissect some wiring on that thing, extend some stuff because where they had the ECU mounted doesn't work out with the new setup. So fixed all that, not fixed, moved all that. I don't want to say fixed because there's nothing wrong with it other than can't really use the CVT because we know they're going to fail. But Marlin supplied us with this engine. It's a 6-liter iron block. We put the Holley valve covers on it, the Holley intake manifold on it, the Holley front pulley setup on it, and we ceramic coated the headers and all the exhausts. Everything on this is ceramic coated black, kind of goes with the black chassis. This stuff got painted, reassembled without the compressors in it. So we've got the GSI mounts for the ECU, Acura ECU, and then the 2 compressors there. I had to dissect some of the wiring, as you can see. So look at, there's a peep inside of Jason's wiring and plumbing inside the chassis. So he wraps everything in some tubing and then big, bad, gnarly zip ties so nothing can get damaged in there. We had to repowder coat the axle because the wheels were too wide for the step side. So the axle got repowder coated. We've got to make new brake lines because they were too long. And then drive shaft, engine, transmission got painted. Outside's all painted. Inside's bedlined. This will be the color of the interior. Actually, there's the interior sample. This is Hyde's leather. It's pretty close, especially on the painted stuff. So that's his brake pedal arm. And then steering column. Pretty darn close. So this is going to get assembled, but not fully wired. We're just trying to make the air management setup work again and get the gas tank in, that type of stuff. And then this truck is going to go over to Dominic, and Dominic's going to wrap the dash, A pillars, B pillars, and headliner probably. So this interior is 100% going to be wrapped, and a lot of the wrapping part will be kind of built in. So we wanted to have that stuff done before we wire it and plumb it, just in case he gets glue overspray, anything like that. But obviously we want to have steering in there so it can be easily moved around. So this one is going to get halfway assembled and then head out to Dominic's. We've got some shot wheels in for the pace truck. So now we can get back on the pace truck, which I'm sure a lot of people are excited. Why is the camera being all goofy? A lot of people are excited to see progress on the pace truck. Can't really show you any today though. LT, Taylor, redhead, Ginger is working on, well, the redheaded stepchild of the shop. This is Jared's truck. It's now running, fired up pretty easily. Then we wrapped up the changes that we made to the air management. So we moved the compressors, we moved the battery, we've shown you this stuff before. So this is going, today's Tuesday, this is going to Kyle at J&R for some tuning to get running correctly on Thursday. And then I'll put some miles on it, and then Jared will be out of here, and he's gonna try to make the Arizona C10 Club Tombstone run with this truck. So if you're in Arizona and you're going to that, look out for the Jolly Green Giant, because it has big wheels on it. Moving along, our lift is broken. So our cylinders are currently out for service, but time-wise worked out okay because we had to put Larry's truck on the ground to do the gap. So you always want to do the gap work while it's on its weight, because things can happen and move around, if the frame sags or whatever. Doesn't usually happen on the newer style frames that are completely boxed and everything, but you still want to make sure. So a little bit left to do on the hood fender stuff. But doors are done, cowl's good. This is the beauty of working with stock parts, is that's pretty much all the cowl needed. We shaved the antenna a couple little places, but pretty good lines just with factory panels. But then door to fenders completely changed. Some work down here. Bed's got to come off so that all this front section can get welded. But before the bed comes off, we're going to build the exhaust, build splash tubs, figure out where the, well, we already mounted batteries. The batteries are actually mounted because this is a Rev B chassis and it comes with battery mounts. And you can put them on the front or the back. So we put them up front. So Chris right now is working on putting a radio in the dash. We went with a 10-inch radio. This truck is a little bit more modern. As you can see, like everything on it is shaved. With the exception of door handles, and then we've got some mirrors to put on it, but they're a lot sleeker mirrors. But we shaved antenna, emblems, trim, marker lights front and rear, third brake light. So this truck is a little more modern, smoothed out. So we went modern, smoothed out on the dash as well. So all the key, cigarette lighter, AC controls, glove block, ashtray, all that's gone. Be replaced with one big 10-inch screen, touch screen, kind of cool modern conveniences. Dakota digital gauges, Ring Brother, bezel, low car pedals. So inside of this would be super sleek, along with inside the bed. So this one's almost there. Soothing mounts the radio, exhaust, and then brace these with some splash shields, fill in the back, and it's done. No point in looking back here. Those look the same as they did last time. As soon as the green truck's out of here, we'll get on those. Let's see what's over here. We got the newest addition to the shop is over here. There's actually two new additions over here. I'll show you the one that actually matters. Milan's truck we haven't done much with, like at all, but this one we're gonna get back in the rotation, start getting the sheet metal filled in the back, wheel tubs, splash shields, all that fun stuff back there. But this is the newest addition. This is Victor Campos's truck. If you scroll back a few videos, you'll see that we had, right after the get down, we took delivery of the two Roadster Shop chassis, one of which is underneath the Pace truck, one of which is at my house. And then we took possession of the Scott's Hot Rods chassis, which is what this one is for, or this one goes onto. So we'll tear this truck down. He's got a bunch of reproduction panels for it, bedsides, fenders, hood, I think. So we're kind of just gonna strip down the cab, send it out for blast, see what we're working with. You can see we've got issues. There's a bunch of paint bubbling. This is not real patina. Somebody faux tinaed this, and they didn't do a good job because it's already coming back. Like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. So we're gonna blast all this stuff, see what we're really working with, and then get it on the chassis. He's concerned that the pinch molding's not gonna lay. I'm pretty confident Scott knows what they're doing. So, but just to save face and set everybody at ease, we'll set the cab on the chassis, make sure it lays out. We have a lot of engines here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one in the bathroom, so that's 5. We have 5 engines here. There's 5 transmissions up front. We have some projects coming up, a lot of work to do. Get some of these big ones moving. Did you see this last time? Saw this last time. We're waiting on Preston. We're waiting on us. But eventually we'll get a square body on there. Go watch the last video, you can hear about that. Golf cart update. You notice you didn't see it over there. It's sold. Horizon Motorsports and Marine in Lake Havasu bought it. And so Pyle went out and bought something new. So tune in 2 weeks and we'll show you it. Back to real stuff. Chef's truck. This is a 56 Chevy. Kind of like the green truck in there. Engine, transmission was already in it, but we replumbed it. We rewired it, made it all factory electronics, changed the exhaust. He had a similar exhaust setup. There's actually a similar exhaust setup on his other truck that we did for him, but appropriately sized. We tucked the bumper in just because it was a matter of re-drilling a couple holes and moving it in. Looks a lot nicer now. But this one just came back. So he already had this seat in here. This thing doesn't really need to be there. It's kind of ugly. But he had the seat already. So we kind of went with that idea. He had the AC. He had the retro sound radio. So basically what Steve did is made new door panels, new kick panels. Made this piece under here, the skirt that we like to use. But he actually made it, these were like kind of pre-formed into the AC, so he made it around that. Door panels look cool, a little bit of aluminum in there. So this radiator leaks, which was in the car, in the truck when we got the thing here. So we're gonna replace the radiator, hopefully reuse the shroud, tighten her up a little bit, make her look a little bit more pretty. But this had Phytech on it when we got it, and it ran, but it could use some help. So we actually kept the Phytech intake manifold and the injectors and the throttle body and everything, but we went back to factory GM electronics. Just easier to tune for us. We're able to work on the transmission a little bit more than some of the aftermarket stuff. So anyway, that thing should be done here soon. Yeah, it looks loud and dusty in there. So I can tell you what's going on in there. Taylor's working on the gauge cluster for Manise. So that's got to get painted. The doors for Manise. We did smart things like put holes in the doors while they're still on the truck. And that way we can run the wires in for the power windows and you don't see them like in the door jamb because they come out of the truck and then in. So little pre-planned things here and there. So Manny's doors need paint, his inner fenders need paint, some of the interior pieces need paint. And then, I don't know, that's kind of all that pertains to me. Marlin's bed, I think, is getting paint soon. But like I say, Marlin's truck's gonna go to dumps before it really gets wired and running. So anyway, we just wrap that up right now. That's it. See you in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for coming out and saying hi to the guys at the reunion show. We don't have a show planned coming up. So if you want to see more of us, subscribe to the channel. See you later.
All right, guys, stay tuned to the next episode because we got a little surprise. If you guys haven't seen it on Instagram yet, wait and check it out.